Morning had just begun to break across the ancient Jurassic Valley, painting the world in soft gold and pale mist. Towering conifer trees stood like ancient guardians, their massive trunks rising into the sky, their tops disappearing into fog. Ferns, moss, and fallen needles covered the forest floor like a thick natural carpet. Insects buzzed lazily in the humid air, and distant echoes of booming footsteps hinted that the valley was already waking. Through this thick, mysterious forest stepped a creature that commanded respect with every stride. Megalosaurus. Its massive head swayed slightly as it walked, nostrils flaring to taste every scent. Its muscles rippled under rough, scarred skin, each movement controlled and deliberate. This was not a reckless hunter. This was a calculated ruler. The apex predator of the Jurassic forests of ancient Britain. Megalosaurus paused at the edge of a clearing. Shafts of sunlight pierced through the mist, forming bright pillars in the dim forest. It moved cautiously, scanning the area. The forest was alive, but something felt off. There was too much stillness. No scurrying lizards, no chirping birds, no rustling leaves. Only silence. Then the wind shifted. A thin metallic scent, blood, drifted past its nose. The predator lowered its head, breathing deeply. The blood wasn't old. It was fresh. Very fresh. The healing forest still held the energy of struggle. Broken branches, disturbed soil, scattered vegetation. But Megalosaurus hadn't made any kill that morning, which meant only one thing. Another predator was hunting in its territory. Megalosaurus growled, a deep thunder that vibrated through the trees. This forest had been its home for many seasons. It had fought challenges, driven them out, and survived drought, sickness, and cold nights. It wasn't just surviving. It was ruling. But a fresh kill that wasn't its own? That was a direct challenge. Megalosaurus followed the trail deeper into the forest, stepping over thick roots and ducking under fallen logs. The air grew darker and colder as the canopy thickened. The predator's senses sharpened. Every crack of a twig, every shift of the wind, every scent told a story. The intruder was close. Birds sensed the tension too. They leaped from branches with frantic screeches as Megalosaurus advanced. Small herbivores darted behind bushes, hiding from whatever conflict was about to erupt. Eventually, Megalosaurus reached a shadow-filled clearing. And there, standing boldly over a fresh carcass, was the intruder. Euxysaurus, a muscular, mid-sized carnivore with strong forelimbs, sharp claws, and a fierce temperament. Blood still dripped from its jaws as it tore into the kill it had stolen. Its head shot up instantly when Megalosaurus stepped forward. For several tense seconds, neither dinosaur moved. Megalosaurus's growl slowly rumbled across the clearing, dragging through the air like rolling thunder. Euxysaurus stiffened, lowering itself into a defensive stance, claws digging into the dirt. This wasn't a frightened scavenger. This was a predator ready to fight. Megalosaurus circled to the left, slow and controlled, forcing Euxysaurus to adjust. Branches cracked under the giant's weight. Euxysaurus snarled, baring its blood-soaked teeth, refusing to back down. The clearing felt smaller and smaller as the dinosaurs closed the distance. A storm was coming, a storm of claws, teeth, and dominance. Megalosaurus took the first step. The battle for the ancient forest was about to begin. The forest exploded with violence. Megalosaurus lunged forward, jaws snapping like a massive bear trap. Euxysaurus darted sideways with incredible speed, its claws raking across Megalosaurus's leg. Blood sprayed onto the ferns. Megalosaurus bellowed in rage, slamming its tail into the ground hard enough to send dirt flying. Euxysaurus leaped back, but the giant predator pressed forward relentlessly. In a flash, Megalosaurus snapped its jaws again, this time locking onto a fallen log as Euxysaurus slipped away. The log shattered like dry bone. Wood splinters flew through the air. Euxysaurus responded with a counterattack. It leapt onto Megalosaurus's flank, digging its claws deep into the predator's skin. Megalosaurus roared and swung sideways, crashing into a tree so hard the trunk cracked. Leaves rained down. Euxiosaurus fell off but rolled back to its feet instantly. The fight tore the forest apart. Ferns flattened, soil ripped open, tree bark shredded. The air shook with every strike. Megalosaurus, despite its size, moved like a controlled avalanche. Forceful, unstoppable, terrifying. Euxiosaurus moved like lightning. Quick, unpredictable, deadly. But one thing was clear. Euxiosaurus was tiring. Megalosaurus stepped forward, breath heavy but determined. Blood dripped from wounds across its body, but its eyes burned with the fire of a king defending his empire. The next attack would decide everything. The battle moved to the riverbank, where mist rose from cold, rushing water. Mud splashed under the dinosaurs' feet. Pebbles scattered as they circled again. Euxiosaurus lunged first, slashing Megalosaurus's chest. The giant roared in pain, but didn't step back. Instead, it stepped forward. Megalosaurus caught Euxiosaurus completely off guard, slamming its massive body into the smaller predator. Euxiosaurus skidded across the mud, scrambling to regain balance. The king didn't give it a chance. With a burst of explosive strength, Megalosaurus opened its jaws and clamped down onto Euxiosaurus's shoulder. The scream that followed echoed across the entire valley. Euxiosaurus kicked, twisted, slashed wildly. But Megalosaurus's grip was iron. Water splashed as the two struggled near the river's edge. Megalosaurus lifted its rival off the ground and smashed it onto the rocks. Dust erupted. Birds fled. The forest trembled. Euxiosaurus tried to rise again, legs shaking, but its strength was gone. It collapsed. Megalosaurus stood over it, victorious. Blood dripped from its jaws, but its posture was proud and unyielding. The intruder had been defeated. A final roar thundered across the river, announcing the return of the Forest King. Morning broke soft and golden over the valley. Mist curled over the river like silver ribbons, and sunlight glowed through the branches. The forest felt calm again. Megalosaurus limped slowly but confidently through its homeland. Wounds stung across its body, but none were fatal. Its muscles still carried strength, and its spirit burned brighter than ever. Herbivores froze when the giant stepped through the trees. But they didn't flee immediately, not out of boldness, but out of recognition. Megalosaurus was the dominant force here. This was its routine, its territory, its rhythm. The predator finally reached the high ridge overlooking the valley. A gentle breeze brushed across its scarred skin as it stood tall. Below lay the vast world it ruled, the river winding like a silver snake, forests stretching endlessly, and open clearings glowing under the morning sun. Megalosaurus lifted its head toward the sky. A deep, powerful roar erupted from its chest. Not of rage, not of hunger, but of victory. The sound rolled through every tree, hill, and stone. The valley had a king again. And Megalosaurus was that king.